There is a weight you woke up with this morning. You might not even have a name for all of it yet, but you can feel it, sitting on your chest before your eyes were fully open. The worry that was already waiting for you. The list of things that depend on you. The ache of something unresolved. Before you pick all of that up and start carrying it through another day, I want to invite you to do something different this morning. I want to invite you to put it down, to actually hand it over, because you were never meant to carry it, and there is someone reaching out for it right now. So take a slow breath in, and as you let it out, let your hands relax. Most of us hold our worry the way we hold our breath, tightly, unconsciously, all day long. Just for these few minutes, you can stop holding it. You can let your grip loosen. You are safe here. God is near, and He is not in a hurry, and He is not asking you to have it all figured out before you come to Him. There is a moment in a letter written by Peter, one of Jesus' closest friends, where he gives some of the most comforting instruction in the whole Bible. And it begins not with the worry, but with something underneath the worry. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. Listen to how it starts. Humble yourselves under God's mighty hand. Now that might sound, at first, like a strange way to begin a verse about anxiety, but it is actually the doorway to peace. Because so much of our worry comes from a quiet belief that it all depends on us, that we are the ones who have to control the outcome, fix the problem, hold the world in place. Humbling yourself under God's mighty hand means finally admitting, I am not the one in control here. There is a hand far stronger than mine, and it is a good hand, and it is over my life. And notice what kind of hand it is. God's mighty hand. The same hand that holds the oceans, that set the stars in place. That hand is the one that is over you. Your worries are not too heavy for it. The thing that feels impossibly big to you this morning is not even a strain for the mighty hand of God. To humble yourself under that hand is not to be crushed. It is to finally rest under a strength that can actually handle what you cannot. And see the promise tucked inside, that He may lift you up in due time. When you put yourself low under God's hand, He does not press you down. He lifts you up. In due time, which means in His timing, the right timing, not always our timing, but never too late. So you can stop striving to lift yourself this morning. You can stop the exhausting work of trying to hold yourself up. You lower yourself under His hand, and He becomes responsible for lifting you. That is a trade worth making. And then comes the line that so many people have clung to in the dark. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. Let's take that apart slowly, because every word is a gift. Cast. It is a strong word. It does not mean set it down gently nearby and keep glancing at it. It means throw it. Hurl it away from yourself onto Him. The way you would throw something heavy off your back the moment you finally could. God is not asking you to manage your anxiety politely. He is telling you to fling it onto Him completely, off of you and onto His shoulders. He can hold it. You cannot. So throw it. And then, all. Cast all your anxiety. Not the presentable parts. Not just the worries you think are spiritual enough to bring to God. All of it. The big fears and the small naggings. The thing you would never say out loud. The worry you are a little embarrassed to still be carrying. The anxiety you have had so long it feels like part of you. All of it. He does not want a curated portion of your heart. He wants the whole anxious weight of it, every piece. Anxiety. He names it honestly. He does not call it a lack of faith. He does not shame you for having it. He simply calls it what it is, anxiety, and he tells you where it goes. On to him. Your anxiety is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is simply a weight, and weights are meant to be transferred to someone who can bear them. There is no shame in this verse. Only an open invitation. Bring it here. Put it on me. And then the reason that makes all of it possible. Because he cares for you. That is why you can throw the whole weight onto him. Not because he is obligated, not because you have earned his attention, because he cares for you. He is not a distant God receiving your worries like paperwork. He is a father who is moved by what moves you. The thing that kept you up last night. He cares about it because he cares about you. You are not casting your anxiety into the void. You are placing it into the hands of someone whose heart is tender toward you. Personally, by name, this morning. This promise was not new with Peter. He was echoing something written 1,000 years earlier in a Psalm of David in one of his most desperate seasons. David wrote, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken." Cast your cares on the Lord. There is that word again. Cast. Throw. David, surrounded by betrayal and danger, had learned the same thing Peter would teach. You do not white-knuckle your way through fear. You throw it onto the Lord. And look at the promise attached. And he will sustain you. To sustain means to hold up, to carry, to keep from collapsing. God does not just take the weight off of you and leave you empty-handed and wobbling. He takes the weight, and then he holds you up too. He carries the burden, and he carries you. And then this. He will never let the righteous be shaken. Now you might hear that word, righteous, and think it leaves you out. But to be righteous here is not to be perfect. It is to be the one who turns to God, who casts their cares on him instead of carrying them alone. The one who runs to God is the one God steadies. And the promise is not that nothing will ever shake around you. The promise is that you will not be shaken loose. You will not be moved off your foundation. The storms can come, but the one holding you does not let go. You will not fall. Let me speak to the part of you that wants to do this, but does not quite know how. Because casting your anxiety on God can sound simple, almost too simple. And then you try it, and 10 minutes later the worry is right back on your shoulders, and you wonder if you did it wrong. So let me tell you something that might set you free. Picking the worry back up is not failure. It is just being human. And the answer is not to feel guilty about it. The answer is to cast it again. Imagine a child who keeps handing a heavy bag to a parent, and then, out of old habit, keeps reaching out and taking it back. Because carrying it is all the child has ever known. The parent does not get frustrated. The parent just keeps gently saying, "No, give it here. Let me carry that." That is God with your anxiety. He is not exasperated that you took it back at 9 o'clock. He just opens his hand again and says, "Here, give it to me one more time." There is no limit on how many times you are allowed to cast the same care on him. He never says, "We already dealt with that." He receives it fresh every single time. And I want you to notice something tender in the order of Peter's words. He says, Humble yourselves under God's mighty hand, and then cast all your anxiety on Him. Humility comes first, because the truth is, holding on to our worry can be a kind of pride. It is the quiet belief that if we just think about it long enough, control it tightly enough, stay vigilant enough, we can manage the outcome ourselves. Casting your anxiety on God is an act of humility. It is admitting, I am not the one holding the universe together. There is a mighty hand over my life that is stronger and wiser and kinder than mine. Letting go is not weakness. It is the most honest strength there is. And think about how much of your worry is actually about things you were never given the power to control. The future, other people's choices, outcomes that depend on 100 things outside your reach. We exhaust ourselves carrying weights that were never ours to carry, things that no amount of worry has ever once moved. Worry has never added a single good thing to your life. It has never solved one problem in advance. It only takes today's strength and spends it on tomorrow's fears. So casting your anxiety is not just spiritual, it is deeply practical. You are setting down a weight that was doing nothing but crushing you. Let's go back to that word, sustain. He will sustain you. It is such a quiet, steady word. To sustain is to hold something up so it does not collapse, to keep it going, to carry it through. God does not promise to instantly remove every hard thing the moment you hand it over. He promises something deeper. He promises to hold you up underneath it, to keep you from collapsing, to carry you through the part you cannot get through on your own. There is a difference between a burden being taken away and a person being held up while they walk. God does both, but the second one is the promise for today. Even if the situation does not change by tonight, you will be sustained. You will not be crushed. You will be carried. And hear the reason one more time, because your heart needs to hear it more than once. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. Not because He cares about problems in general, because He cares for you. The God who holds the oceans in His hand knows the specific worry that sat on your chest this morning before your eyes were even open. He is not a distant manager receiving complaints. He is a father leaning in close, tender toward the exact thing that is heavy for you. You are not throwing your cares into an empty sky. You are placing them into the hands of someone whose heart is moved by yours. So let me name the kinds of weights, because sometimes we need help knowing what to set down. Maybe it is a worry about someone you love, someone you cannot fix, someone whose path keeps you up at night. Cast it on Him. He loves them even more than you do. Maybe it is about provision, about money, about whether there will be enough. Cast it on Him. He has fed you every day of your life so far. Maybe it is about your own body, a diagnosis, a symptom, a fear about your health. Cast it on Him. He holds your very breath. Maybe it is a future you cannot see, a decision you cannot make, a door that has not opened. Cast it on Him. He is already standing in that future, and He is not worried. And maybe it is something you cannot even put words to. Just a low, constant hum of anxiety that has been with you so long it feels like part of your personality. Even that, especially that. Hand Him the formless weight, the one you cannot explain. All your anxiety means all of it, including the parts you do not understand. You do not have to organize it before you give it to Him. You can hand it over as messy and tangled as it is, and let Him sort it in His hands. So let's actually do this, right now, in the quiet, before the day begins. Not as a concept, as a real act. I want you to bring to mind the heaviest thing you are carrying this morning, the worry that has the most weight on it. Picture it in your hands. Don't minimize it. Don't spiritualize it away. Just hold it honestly for a moment. And now, picture God's mighty hand open in front of you, steady, strong, kind. And picture yourself placing the whole weight of it into His hand. Letting go of your grip, finger by finger, casting it onto Him, because He cares for you. And maybe there is more than one. Maybe as you set the first one down, another surfaces. Good. That is what all your anxiety means. Bring that one too. The fear about someone you love, the worry about money, about health, about a future you cannot see. The old ache you have carried so long you forgot you were carrying it. One by one, cast them. He has room for every one. His hand does not fill up. The more you give Him, the more you will feel your own shoulders come free. And here is what I want you to understand about this. Casting your anxiety on God is not a one-time event you do this morning and then you are finished forever. It is something you may have to do again at 9 o'clock, and again at noon, and again tonight when the house is quiet and the worry comes creeping back. That is not failure. That is the rhythm of trust. Every time it crawls back onto your shoulders, you cast it again. He never gets tired of receiving it. He never says, "You already brought me that one." As many times as the weight returns, that is how many times you get to hand it back to the one who cares for you. Picture what your whole day could be like if you actually lived this way. Not a day with no worries, that is not what is offered. But a day where the worries no longer get to settle on you, because the moment they land, you keep handing them back. The anxiety rises at the meeting, and you cast it. It rises again at the message you get at lunch, and you cast it. It creeps back in the quiet of the afternoon, and you cast it once more. By evening, you are not white-knuckled and depleted. You are tired, but light, because you spent the whole day refusing to carry alone what God kept offering to hold. That is what it looks like to be sustained. That is a life that will not be shaken. So let's pray it, and let's actually let go as we do. Father, I come to you this morning with a weight I have been carrying, some of it since before I even woke up. And I am so grateful that you do not ask me to carry it alone. You tell me to cast it, to throw it onto you. So that is what I want to do, right now, before anything else. I humble myself under your mighty hand, Lord. I admit that I am not the one in control. I have been trying to hold the whole thing in place, and I am tired, and I lay that down. Your hand is stronger than mine. Your hand is good, and I would rather be under it than try to be over my own life one more day. So I cast all my anxiety on you. Not part of it, all of it. The worry I can name and the worry I can't. The fear about the people I love. The thing I keep turning over in the middle of the night. I throw it onto you this morning because you care for me. Not in general. You care for me. You see this exact weight, and your heart is tender toward me in it. Sustain me, Lord. Not just take the weight, but hold me up underneath it. Keep me from being shaken loose. Let me feel, in my body and in my mind, what it is to be carried instead of crushed. And when the worry comes back this afternoon, and it will, Remind me that I am allowed to do this again, to cast it again, as many times as it takes. Lift me up in your due time, in your way, which I am learning to trust even when I cannot see it. And until then, let me walk through this whole day held by a hand that will not let me fall. Thank you that I am not alone in this. Thank you that you care. In Jesus' name, amen. Stay here one moment, in the lightness of having handed it over. Feel how it is to walk into a day with empty hands and a held heart. The weight is His now. He cares for you. He will sustain you, and He will not let you be shaken. Go gently into your day. You were never meant to carry it alone.